Well, hey everybody. Welcome. You guys know me. I'm Crystal Crawford, and this is my incredible person. You're my person. You're
You're
not
my
my person.
person
You're
too.
one of my people.
I
This
am
is
your
a
people.
this is Lynnae Ann, and she is just a fabulous person, fabulous human being. She's been taking a lot of different classes with me, but what's showing up is this really amazing. Um, I just adore you.
Thank
So
you.
hi.
Hi. Hi. Glad to be here.
Yeah, and you are a coach. You are like a coach facilitator. And but you've been so many other things. And today I wanted the world to meet you.
Thank you.
I also really wanted to pick from your world so much of the brilliance that you just naturally emerges from all of your years of experience and all the things you've done. And what we call this is what does it take to start, stimulate an on the ground business? And the name for the master, the mini mind that's coming up, 30 Heads in 30 Days, came from you.
Right. I
I didn't
did.
tell you I was stealing it, but I totally did.
I did.
So maybe we can start there just for fun. I mean, this idea did come from you. You're in my Thrival Mastermind, and we were kind of, I don't know what we were talking about. And you're like, well, yeah, everyone knows this. You do 30 heads in 30 days. And I'm like, not everyone knows this. Like, can you talk a little bit about where this came from for you? Yeah, let's start there.
Huh. Okay. Oh, that's like so
It's
much.
so much. It's
It's
okay. Start in the middle. It's okay.
been self-employed my whole life. So I've had to learn a lot on how to get things started and going.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of came into the world with a lot of knowledge, but a lot of it picked it up along the way. So the 30, well, gosh, there's
It's
some.
okay. It's
Uh,
out of order. It's fine.
I'm in recovery. So one of the things that suggested I've been in recovery for 32 years is they suggest you do 90 meetings in 90 days. So
Ah.
you don't even know that. You don't know where it actually
I
came
know.
from.
That's why I wanted to have this conversation with you because you are so interesting.
Yeah, so that was 32 years ago. So I was sick and it was just whatever. That's a whole story within itself. But 90 meetings in 90 days. And that takes pretty much so much choice to continue to do something like
That is so huge in
that.
terms of,
Again,
and
very
I
few
love
of
that
us
you said
do
it
that.
takes so much choice because it's like,
Oh, there's very
okay, it's a,
few of us that do. Yes, absolutely.
yeah,
But here I
yeah.
am with recovery for 32 years. And I continue to participate in that. And then when I started my massage business, fast forward, then so there's so much. A
It's
regional
okay.
vice president of a mortgage company did that for 10 years, and then I went out and sold mortgages and loans, and that still had that same. How can I see? Like I went with that theme of 30 people. Just there was just something. What did that create? And then sales director with Mary Kay Cosmetics for 20 years. I resigned 3 years ago to coach full time. And they had this thing, put the product on 30 women's faces in 30 days. Because it's your on the job training. I mean, how else are you going to know? And, Mary Kay said, and it's so funny, you and I just talked about this, that you don't need to know anything. Enthusiasm, who you be, is what attracts that. And it's so funny because we were just talking about enthusiasm. The less you know,
Yeah.
the more ease there is. There's
Can you say that again?
the less you know, the more ease there is.
Okay, because I talk about this all the time with
Do
bars.
you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
for those of you guys watching, where I'm coming from is like really like stimulating your on the ground business. And of course, most of the people that are playing in and with me are, into access consciousness. So a lot of people are bars practitioners, bars facilitators, somebody that does kind of hands-on touch stuff.
Hmm.
And we've moved to a new country. And so we are also looking at stimulating a new market there, basically, of bars. And what we're choosing is exactly what we're talking about here, which is like, let's expose as many people as we possibly can to bars. And so for us, it showed up like 40 people in a week and then like 20 more people in another week. So we're kind of doing it in chunks because that's how we roll.
Right.
But it's the same sort of thing. It's like literally if you choose that and you put this in front of people or you get makeup on faces, your business grows as a side effect, not
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. So, and when I started Mary Kay, I knew that 90 and 90 worked for me. So
Okay.
I did 90 faces in 90 days. I don't know if there's very many people who choose that. And I had like 90 customers in 90 days. I knew absolutely nothing of what I was doing. So when I started my bars business, and I'm not sure if I chose the 30 and 30 because coaching has been, Growth Junkie has just become so many facets. But in the mastermind that I was with Crystal, she always reminds us what comes to us with ease and we think everybody else knows is something we should probably share and also make money doing.
If it's so easy, you think it's of no value, that's probably the thing to choose.
And you taught me that for 3.5 years. But when I started talking about it, spewing off like faces and all that, it was like, well, why am I not doing that in my coaching business? Because I
Right.
had this point of view, it had to be hard again, because that's fun. And so in this conversation, when I blurped off, yeah, just do 30 heads, put your hand on 30. I also in my business just recently did 21 free coaching facilitation sessions, which I'm not sure if everybody would choose. But what came out of being willing to just show up with no projection, no expectation, no money exchange, no take it any further, it's priceless. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, and I don't know what's going to create from that. But here we are from just opening up and saying, yeah, put your hands on faces or talk to people with
So
just that. Yeah.
you've basically started or stimulated like 3 or 4 new businesses, like, over the or more?
There's like I have 5 or 6 avenues of income of people to work with me because
Okay.
there's so many, which is yeah, yeah. So they continue to develop and continue to change. But yes.
Okay. And all of it seems like it's come through your willingness to just get in front of people with your stuff. Is that true?
No.
Okay, what else? Tell me more.
Oh, that's not true with coaching too. I just had a client who just told me, like, she says, you make it look so easy.
You do make it look really easy, and it's funny because I know you really well, and so we have a lot of other
Oh yeah.
conversations where you're like, "Oh my god," so but
Yeah.
there
Like
is a naturalness to the way you diligently just show up, and you show up, and you show up,
that
and
would
then things
be
grow.
it. I just continue to show up. But on the backside over here is what Crystal has seen for a long time of like I don't know what the frick I'm doing. But I do know, but I don't know, but I follow the energy of it with so much more ease. But Mary Kay used to say, look like a swan on the top while you're pedaling on the bottom, and there's a lot of pedaling going on back here. So for anybody who thinks that this is easy creating a business, it's not that it's easy or not. It's just like you know, I
It's
just
a
don't
choice. It's a
yeah,
choice that you just
I don't give up.
continually make.
I don't
Yeah,
quit. We have I'm called to do more of whatever this is. When I did start growth junking coaching, though, I forgot this. I did challenge myself to go live on Facebook for 30 days. Do you remember that? I
I
forgot about it.
do. I think it extended out to, like, 670 days.
Well, it's technically been almost 3 years.
My gosh, yeah,
So for somebody who says, "Oh my gosh," remember I take things to the extreme,
me
but
too.
I did 30. Yeah, 30 because it was like I back then. I Facebook was like terrifying.
Yeah,
So I did 30, and then I did another 30, and then it really went into a year, and then that also then created the membership group. So who would have known? But
yeah.
it showed up, and I just talked about my life experience, strength, and hope, and people I don't know. I just did it.
Yeah,
Crystal,
but
same. Do it wrong, do it badly, do it anyway.
that's my next business done different class. That's gonna be the tagline. Do it wrong,
Yeah,
do it badly, do it anyway. Because that's actually what creates a business, is if you're just willing to do it wrong, and you just put it in front of people, and you keep putting it in front of people, and you keep putting yourself in front of people, like, your business grows. That's
yeah.
it.
You
Yeah,
gave me that gift because it wasn't like that in my other businesses. There was a
right.
lot of do it right, shitload of judgment. And never, you know what I mean? But I've worked with Crystal since the beginning of my business. So being in your energy of like, really, just do it wrong, do it badly, do it anyway, would be my best advice that I give to everybody anyway, because it frees you up. It's just like,
Yeah.
we're going to get it wrong anyway.
And we're always gonna feel wrong, so it's
And what
fine.
is that anyway? Especially with something we don't even know what it is that we're doing.
Yeah.
So, and then ask a shitload of questions along the way. I mean,
So I want to kind of circle or whatever back to like this thing that I think is so brilliant that you just so naturally do, which is you basically give yourself kind of this creative challenge of like, well, it's arbitrary, but I did it over here, so I'm going to do it again over here. And it's just this like repeatedly choosing something. And one of the things you said is like, I don't know if a lot of people would do this. Um, what is it that you, I don't know how to ask this question exactly, but it's like, what is it that you get is really required from somebody for that to be a choice and for that to like emerge, you know what I'm asking?
yeah, I do. And I have I I have no expectation of what's going to come from any of it.
Right. You're just committed to the action.
Yeah. And what's it period.
That's that.
Yeah, and I think I've always been that way.
Me too.
So there's been some ease with that. You just do it
You commit to the action and you just commit to that action and you keep showing up for that choice.
with no expectation and no projection. And I learned that in recovery. Anytime you have an expectation, it leads to resentment. We now know in access, there's a lot more pieces to that projection expectations.
Leads to separation, judgment, and rejection. But essentially it's the same thing. I mean, resentment is this like separation, judgment, and rejection of another person in you,
So I
basically.
got that a long time ago. And
Yeah.
that's been a lot of like, you know, I have a motto in my business forever, especially in sales and doing Mary Kay and having lots of women. I expect nothing, and when they do, I get excited.
So that's cool though, but you are still willing to like expose. So like even in Mary Kay, so how did that work? In Mary Kay, you just like put makeup on 30 faces, like, hey, can I put my makeup on you sort of idea, or something easy.
Yeah,
And then the makeup sells itself. So this what I'm finding about,
there's so many pieces to that.
okay,
Yes.
tell me more. Tell me what I'm not asking.
Well, there's that,
Okay.
and then can I plug my program?
Plug
I have
your
coming
stuff.
that you
Yes.
helped me. Is Crystal helped me create this how to sell for coaches who hate selling.
Yeah.
And what that looks like is this whole part where we have something to give. We have a
Yeah.
business, but it's this back end stuff that number one, we don't know how to do. Number two, most of us don't want to do. I love it. So for me, it's really easy. So I see coaches and everybody all the time that has all this stuff, but nothing's moving. It's like, where do I go with it? What do I do with it? Well, there's really basic things to get that up and going as long as you're willing. And
Okay. So the first basic thing out of order would be
so where did that start? Like what my question, what did you ask me about? Like, how did
I
I
don't even
start?
remember
I know, I don't even remember.
now. But just like the
Oh,
stuff
the
that
back
you
end stuff. Like
okay.
back end, it's oh, I don't expect anything, but when they do, I get excited. So say I was doing even okay, these 21 free sessions I gave away.
Yeah.
It's the follow up when you're
Okay.
an entrepreneur that people don't know how to do. And you have to be willing to like step out of what it is that you know and be willing to like I'm tracking all of these women. What can I offer? What's their next step? Is there
Yeah.
a next step?
Yeah.
Is it so it's that back end emails that are going out, and I keep it pretty simple. Crystal's very Excel orientated. We talked about that the other day, like structured. If you could see, because I'm visual, so it's written on my board. Here, can I show somebody?
Yeah.
See my and pen all
Uh-huh.
the women that I shared the business with. I mean, not shared the business, did my lives with, and
Uh-huh.
there. And then I just go, well, what can I help them with? And then
I
we'll
love
switch.
it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, and for us, I mean, I do love a good spreadsheet, I'm not gonna
You
lie.
love it. I wish I
I
could.
will And I will tell you though that a lot of my follow up really does come through awareness. Like it's like
100%.
more than so I will spreadsheet things, but honestly, do I use them as much as I don't actually use them as much as I could. Like we've connected now with over 60 people in Cali with bars, and we are going to put them in a spreadsheet, but honestly, it's coming through awareness. It's more like, oh, we need to someone will ping me or it will ping me that we need to connect with people more than it will go, I need to look at the spreadsheet in order to do my steps. But
That's
there, yeah, no,
the
go.
piece to it, though, is that if we are using the energetic element, which really is
Yeah.
required,
Well, it's just
it's like
everything. Yeah.
it's everything, is that there is no spreadsheet for me to service
Yeah.
these. It's like,
It's
what is
it's
she?
staying engaged enough that you're actually aware of that next, "Oh, yeah, it's time
Yeah,
to, like, reach out
yeah.
to that person." Yeah.
And people aren't some people get stuck in like like you have to have the follow-up particular structure. Well, I just talked to 21 women that will never fit into a structure. So I can't put them somewhere. I can take each of them and go, wow, what a gift we were to each other. Is there anything they have to contribute to me? Is there anything I can contribute? And yeah, it takes a little bit, but forever we might have a connection or relationship, and who knows? So that's kind of where I come from. It's again, no expectations. Like what can we create together? Or
Yeah.
we never.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's the thing there's so much that's brilliant about it. But to me, it's like the one of the biggest things is like you are willing to connect with people and you create these reasons to do that, and you happen to have a product to sell for the most part every single time. And so this is the reason we give ourselves, I think, to actually talk to people because we're like that.
Mhm.
But it's the willingness to do that. And I see a lot of this with like with on the ground, well, with business in particular, where it's like we would almost rather not get on the ground. It's like, why can't social media create my business? Or why can't, like it isn't, it really that contributes and
It's
that
control. Yeah.
adds a texture and some layers but it isn't really the thing that does the thing. It's
No,
the
and that's what we avoid the most.
yes.
That is, there's only a couple percent that are actually going to take it where it needs to go.
Yeah.
We have to, number one, know those numbers, because everything, even though nothing is, everything's
Exact.
exact, it's still, if you know the numbers of how many people you need to talk to, how many people you need to put the hands on, and at least play in that energy of that, you'll know where you're going.
Exactly. Yeah, like one of the numbers I looked at was that 1 in every 10 people who takes a bars class goes on to take a foundation
And that's
class.
the statistic for anything.
It's just what it is. It's like how
Yeah.
it shows up, and it'll always fluctuate a little bit. But I was like, okay, well, so if I want to have bigger foundation classes, what do I need to be committed to? It isn't beating people to death to come to foundation classes. It's like putting my energy where it'll actually fruit, which is like exposing people to bars. How many people do I need to expose to bars to get, 25 people in a bars class? It's like, well, over 60. Like, so
Yep.
that it's exactly so it's committing yourself to the action of that, allowing the universe to contribute what can show up,
Yes,
staying engaged with those people, and then all of a sudden, voila, you have a business.
exactly. I don't know how you put that into words, but that was
Together, we're doing this.
together. And it's the back end to things. And where we coach is when it's projections. It's like, I did this, but this didn't happen. Well, no, it didn't. But
It
what
does never works that way.
it never works that way. And Access teaches us, well, what's right about this that you're not getting? And sometimes it's really hard to tweak somebody to look at that. But once they look at, like, oh my God, there were so many amazing miracles that came out of that, then that's why it is that you did what you did. It's not because this is what was supposed to come out of it.
Right. What you thought it was going to be and what it turned out to be are really different. And cool. It's like
Cool.
all these side benefits to what you're choosing, but it's the side benefits to the choice you're making that you're making regardless of whatever else is going on. That's the choice you're committed to. That's the thing I think is so brilliant about how you function in the world and what really works. And yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
What else? What else
What
about
else? My
this that I
goodness.
haven't asked you? So in addition to coaching online, you also do bars and body work, like you work on bodies.
Yes.
What
Yes.
is what are some of the things that you're doing that work to stimulate that side of your business?
Which side? The bars?
Yeah, the bodywork side.
Here's what's funny is if I really put, like, okay, here's the thing. when you're a creator, you just have to like go bing and it kind of just grows. And I don't know how to explain that.
You're welcome, you guys.
Okay. It's an energy. It's like
Yep.
bars. And my bars business and never did anything to get it started.
Cool.
But it did make a couple grand last month. So that's exciting. Um, that's so cute. That's so cute.
So for those of you guys that haven't made any money with your bars business yet, like you can.
Well, without doing anything. But what I have done is I have made myself present.
And I get that. I get what you're saying in terms of you haven't done anything. And
Yeah,
did you open
exactly.
your mouth? Did you like talk to people? Because
Yes.
how did
Yeah.
people know that you do bars?
So that's where I get confused on how that looks.
If there was no order to anything.
No. So it's like, where does that comes up in a conversation? I have a tendency, like, just offer.
But I think what I love about how simple this is for you is that it's like almost hard to distinguish like how that like how does that happen because it's such a natural part of the way you function. So it's like
Yeah. So what that would look like, it's mental awareness month.
right.
And next month, and I really have a lot of experience in mental awareness and health, but that isn't where I'm going with it. But here's something for anybody who's looking at bars. Access has an energy right now behind it. Jump on the momentum.
Yes.
Anytime that there is momentum behind what it is that you're creating, and access is this world that I mean, it's all energy. So they're like, woof. Why would we
Not use that.
be using that? And I know people get hung up with the freebies and the tasters. It's like, I don't know. I get out of that and it's like, let me put my hands on your head and see what is possible. And then I still have all my follow up. Here's my little sheet of what you can buy from me and all of this. And I know a lot of people don't have that. That's where the business coach comes in, so that when they leave, you're not like, what do I do
What's
now?
next?
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. And
But
for you guys watching, for me, like we've kept it even simpler, but we do still have something. So it's like that we will put our hands on their head, and then as soon as they get up, we're like, hey, can we call you in a couple days? We've got other choices available. We've got a taster, a class. You can do sessions, but we do still offer the bit that is there's more, and we'll let you know.
And the only reason I created a session sheet
Yeah.
is because, believe it or not, I don't like to ask for a sell. You would
Okay.
never know that, but selling is just not my gig at all. I know people.
And by the way, this is the person who's about to teach you selling for coaches who hate selling.
Yeah, who earned 11 free cars in Mary Kay and all of that. But I never asked for the actual sell. That's very uncomfortable for me. So the sheet, as silly as it may be, when I hand it to them now, it's like with my bars business, they kept asking me what do I do next? If you don't let the person know what's available for their next choice, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I learned that early in sales. So it's a sheet that I can hand, and I don't have to ask for the sale. They can make the choice.
Right.
So I
cool.
had to learn how to do that. And then because numbers get all screwy in my brain anyway, because I can't do that, I'll go here, session, package this, package that, package that, and then they can pick. So I've learned how to work around not being comfortable asking for the sale.
Brilliant. Because nobody's comfortable asking for the sale. And what I think so cool is like, especially with consciousness, and then I'm noticing this with your other businesses, it's like you can't sell it anyway. It sells itself or they move on. And that's like, there's no need to sell. And yet your willingness to expose it is the thing, and be it, and let them have the experience is actually the selling. So
Right.
which is so much easier, and just it just takes the willingness to like open your mouth and offer your hands.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
there's so much.
Oh my God. What else? What else haven't I asked you?
So if someone's looking at to start a bars business, I'm just shocked on how many people don't even go to do you have to be like a facilitator bars to go on the Ning?
Oh, maybe. No, but they're building a bars practitioner-ing now. So if you
Okay.
guys have a bars business, there's a bars practitioner-ing either out or coming. So that's coming. So
Oh
you'll
my
have
God.
some
I mean, it's
So
all
the
there.
Ning has all the resources. Exactly.
It
It's
is
like literally
everything.
all you have to do is take one bars class and you have the possibility of being in business. And all it took for me to have a bars business was starting to go, hey, I just learned this new thing and it's kind of weird. Do you want to try it? That was it. I kept the information super simple.
Me too.
I don't try to overcomplicate it or explain it. And when I get into a conversation with people who need a lot of explanation, I'm like, you know, it's probably not for you. Let me know, because they're just doing a weird thing. I don't do weird things. And so what I would find through that were the people that were just open to trying something different. And when they tried it and they loved it, I'd go, cool. Well, if you want more, there's more. And, you know, what do you recommend? It's kind of different for everybody. Like I do one session, I have a package of 4, I have a package of 10. What do you get would work for you? You know, you can take a class and then you just kind of present them with some choices and let them choose. And voila, you're in business.
Yeah.
Like
I
it's
know
hard.
that sounds so easy for
But it
us.
is kind of it is kind of simple. And what I'm started here, what you guys see on the banner is 30 heads in 30 days, which is a month I'm doing as a little mini mind to stimulate your on the ground business, where we're going to just workshop this and work together and play together for 30 days because that's I want to see what that creates.
Yeah.
But I got that idea from you, which really came from like, hey, let's make some choices over the next 30 days. Let's just choose persistently and see what that like stimulates. See what you can create.
Yep. Yeah.
So there's lots.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I know
Mm.
there's so much, and I don't mean to make it sound like when someone says you make it look so easy. I guess I just did that again. It's like it looks like, but it's I don't know.
Well,
Just be
is
willing.
it accurate to say that it's simple?
Everything's yeah. Sorry, that wasn't gonna.
It's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not trying to get you to stay on script. I just
Yeah,
wondered if
no,
that
there is no. It's not like when you have recovery. It's not that all of this is a simple program. It's just, and even with bars, what they've created, I know probably when you started, they didn't have what they provide for us now. I mean, they I know how to run and start a business, but I've been able to take pieces from that Ning. You literally, Access has really created everything that's needed. But all it's really, really, really needed is, hey, let me put my hand on. We used to call it a perfect start was 15 heads or faces, and a power start was for the 30 faces or 30 heads. So if you're like, I don't have the time, and that's also required for you to really look at what's available in your life. That's where people like to jam themselves up with business. I want a business, but then we look at their time schedule. There's no
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So why
Yeah.
don't
So you have to you have to like actually reprioritize for a bit to get things moving. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's what
so
I found too. And that's what I said to somebody. Actually Tanya Maria, who was in our mastermind with us, and I did another interview with her.
okay.
You know, and somebody else I talked to, I was like, look, the only thing required is that you just reprioritize for a while. And
Yeah.
basically your 2 priorities are go somewhere new every day for this person and put your hands on someone's head. That's it. Those are the 2 things. But that's the thing I've really learned in business is like if I will kind of look at what's the most elegant possibility for getting this moving, what's the elegant thing. And when we were looking, for example, at doing these tasters where we were, the most elegant thing was to liaise with this organization and get them to work with us and set it up for us, and then we showed up and contributed our time. So it's different all the time, but like where can I put my attention that's like the fast, almost the shortcut to growth, and that if I just continue to choose that, we'll do this thing that's exponential.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, just being really honest with yourself. If you don't have a lot of people in your world,
Yeah.
you got to build that. And so that's probably if you've been around doing things, you have obviously more to pull from, but you can start anything with one person.
Exactly.
I mean, you really can.
Yeah.
Person's head. Let me, you got to practice, you got to try. And is there somebody else I can share with that? And it's just being willing to that. But you're not going to have a full business, I'm sorry, if you don't have the people yet. So,
but you can create them, and it starts with one. And what I love that so much. And one of the things I say, okay, if you have one person, that person has a friend. And if you've got 2 people, that person has a friend. And that from there, like one of the things we're doing, and we can sort of wrap up after this is so good, is you know, like I said to the guy I was talking to, I'm like, make these your two priorities, play with that, and then ask that person to bring a friend. And
Yep.
then you've kind of got this natural network effect
That's what
that,
we used to call parties.
okay.
I got that. Like if you have one friend, you could bring four friends, and then
You
if you
could.
got four friends, I'd give you a free session. That's sales. I mean, if we can all just get over this point of view that we don't like to sell, but we're actually selling, but we're actually inviting people into our world and get the dynamics of that. Like, yeah, like I have a referral system with my bars people. If you send me somebody, I will give them a free session. And if that is, I mean, so it is a business. I want to honor my regulars and gifts and that kind of stuff. So treat it like a business, even though it's a gifting, it still is a business. I think that's where we mess up too. Where we're
Yeah,
like,
I love that. And to throw in a little bit on that is like it's not the distract or implant a business. It's like treat it like something where you're including money. It's if like you take the word business out of it even and like if you use it, are you going to use it to create something with? You can just gift this stuff. And I think as humanoids we like to give things away and the reward is in the change that it
yes,
creates and we love that so much and for us that's money. However, if we do that, then we don't have a roof and we don't get to travel and we don't get to do all these things. So treat it like a business is like include money. Allow it, include money, include people's friends, include what's going to actually make
yep,
this easier for you, which is the little tips of like, you know, the referral thing and like bring a friend thing and the, you know,
yeah. I'll say, wait, I know we need to wrap
no, it's
up,
okay.
but I had a point of view as a sales director or consultant is that we used to say this. I would do this if I wasn't making any money. We said that all the time. No wonder I wasn't making money. I seriously said that all the time. And I really meant that.
But
I,
that is it is a key part of it. And I think it's just
yeah, because I
recognizing there's
didn't
two
bring money
parts.
into it. Yeah,
If
it was,
there's two parts, and the thing we usually exclude is money,
I
but we
did.
do also need to love what we're doing because that's a huge
Absolutely.
key of what makes things work. If you don't love it, you can't create it. So if you love it, cool. Part one.
Yes.
Now let's include money. And how could that look? You
Yeah.
know,
And
what's
I did not, I made money. Don't get
yeah.
me wrong, but the amount of money I could make had I been in this space of like, I'm not just here to love and nurture and
I'm
care
only
and
doing this because you're cute and I just love you.
yeah. And so I got that after I got into Access. I'm like, oh my God, all these businesses I've done, I never included money.
Yeah, okay.
And
Well,
it's a
that's
big,
changing.
that is totally changing. And it takes what it takes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So how can people access your program if they want to come check it out? Do you have a domain? You have a website?
I do. It's selling
Something.
with ease. Wait a minute, I
Okay.
just got it. Now I can't remember. It was really
Oh my
cute.
gosh, we'll post it in the comments for you guys, and it's fine,
Yeah,
Lynnae. Don't
I
worry. I
got a
totally put you on the
special one,
spot
and
with
it was really cute.
that. Okay. Well, for those of you
Sellwithease.com, I think it was. It was like really cute. You told me.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
okay,
And
but
you
I
guys
can't
can check that out if you want to check out Lynnae's program. And if you want to come to the mini mind with me, we're going to start next week. If you're watching in the future, I'll do another round of it. It's just message me for the link. I'll get you involved in that. And how does it get any better than this? I just adore you. Thank you so much for your brilliance and your wisdom and all your fucking simplicity that works. I
Yeah,
appreciate you.
right back to you too. Okay. All righty,
Ciao,
everybody.
guys. See you
Thanks.
later.